to 2026 and Happy New Year. Welcome to Conahey Rail. Looking forward to another great year. Going to train shows, club events, truck shows, whatever pops up of my interest. And I know there was a fan out there asking about his Conrail Trail Van hat, so here you go. Yes, I still have it, and I am wearing it for you for this video. Love the hat. It is, I've never seen another Conrail Trail Van hat like this. I made a mention of it to him. I said, wow, that's a beautiful hat, and he just gave it to me. So, yep, I still have it. Part of my hat collection. But at any rate, so for this video, it's going to be my year in review of 2025. Meaning, I'm going to review at least the locomotives that I bought throughout 2025. And we're going to go back, we're going to take a look at them. And, what are my final thoughts on them? And we'll go from there. So, let's go. Okay, so we're going to kick off this review of 2025 with my purchase of the Lionel GP9 and a GP9B. The GP9B is a super base non-powered locomotive. The GP9 is a powered unit. Unfortunately, this ended up disappointing me in the pulling power. As you can see, I make a wheel slip alert on this video, and it just would not pull. I was seriously disappointed and surprised because my SD45 was able to pull a train of like 30 and 40 cars with a super base non-powered, but here we have the GP9 powered and a GP9 non-powered. Can't even pull 15 cars. I was totally shocked. So luckily, Lionel made 3 different versions of the Conrail GP9. The blue version GP9, the blue GP9B, and here you see the GP9 patched Conrail locomotive. And the patched locomotive is powered, so I had to end up buying all 3 pieces just to pull a decent sized train. So let's take a look at that train in action. Next up, I bought this Mr. Muffin's Lionel Custom Run Conrail GG1, the Bicentennial Paint Scheme, number 4800. There were a couple problems with it right out of the box. So the biggest problem was the rear pantograph, or the front pantograph that is, would not raise. And so I was able to get it to raise up and down. It was just stuck a little bit. But however, it ended up being a little on the lazy side, so it won't raise all the way up. I decided to leave well enough alone. So, but as far as it did run a little jerky at first. So it seemed like it got a little smoother as the break-in period went along. So it was a little jerky at first. So let's take a look at the run of this. Next up is something that was from my wanted list. I was looking for this Lionel Conrail GP35 mistake locomotive that was actually made in 2012. So Lionel had actually forgot to put the Conrail font on the sides of this locomotive. They did not initially know that happened until people started complaining on forums and stuff. They did stop sending them out. So it is unknown how many of these escaped without the name on the side of the body. I can tell you not very many of these survived or even exist. And here you can see I'm running it. I actually bought this from Trains with a Z. It popped up on their website and the private car, which I belong to their private car collectors, where you get first dibs on stuff that comes up for sale. I seen this. I absolutely had to have it. Now, rumor has it that the locomotives that were not sent out, the shells were taken off, and the locomotives were used for parts. Some of the shells supposedly survived, and then some of them, most of them were destroyed. Lionel did come out with the corrected version, or supposed corrected version of 2297. You can see sitting next to it on the inner track with the Conrail font, also the blacked out hood in front of the windshield. However, none of the Conrail GP35 locomotives at this time of research ever made it into blue paint. They were scrapped before that even happened. However, Lionel did finally get it right on the third try. They finally came out with a Conrail GP35 patch locomotive, in which I am still in search of this particular locomotive. So if you see one, you know where one's at. If you have one, you want to sell it with this blue door on it, please let me know. Send me a message. So next I bought this Lionel General Electric U28C to go with my U30C. And there's some debate about the colors on this U28C. It is a different shade of blue than what's on my U30. Some say that the Conrail color is off, but you know, at the end of the day, from my research, there wasn't really a standardized blue. And not only that, but the blue, depending on the quality paint, faded pretty badly, depending on when the photos were taken. So when Lionel goes to research, there's different years of weathering and shades of blue and stuff like that that they got to go off of. So yeah, it doesn't bother me that much. So I went ahead and bought it. Next, I decided to buy this Lionel Conroe Patch Pen Central EMD GP30 to add to the roster. It was such a cool locomotive to go with my blue GP30s that I have. Next up, I bought this Lionel GP30 Penn Central locomotive with the red worm logo. This was a locomotive that I really wanted in the Penn Central road name with the red worm logo. There was two different versions of this locomotive actually. There was the original Lionel version, and then Mr. Muffins made a custom run of these locomotives as well with the red worm logo. So this is the one I really wanted to have, and when I seen it at Trains and Things in Ewing this year, I didn't want to pass it up because I don't know if I would find it again, but they gave me a good deal on it. Thank you, Trains and Things. Now, for this part of the video, I have the Penn Central patched GP30 leading and the Penn Central GP30 with the red worm logo trailing for this train. Now, for my last locomotive purchase of 2025, you guys seen on the Dakman Christmas special, but here it is, the Lionel Conrail SW900. Let's take a quick look at that running. Also, on another note, this is my very first switcher locomotive, believe it or not. On another note, I'm on my second year of touring my Lionel Brady's Trains custom run Conrail SD45 locomotives. These locomotives are a beast. I've pulled like 30, 40 cars. You have a powered in the front and then a super base non-powered trailing. So there's really only one locomotive pulling this entire train, and it is impressive. And I've been very happy with it. These locomotives are my tour locomotives. It's been great running on different layouts. I've had these on tour again for 2025 on the Raritan Valley High Railers, the DC area High Railers. So yeah, these have been put through a torture test, and they just keep going and going and going. I wasn't going to cover any freight cars in this video, but I felt as though this one had to be included in the year of review because it was my very first car that was controversial, that I made a controversial video about. So basically, if you guys remember, I reviewed this and gave it 2 thumbs down. I was so mad, so disappointed. I actually ended up selling this car. And even with the bad reviews and the 2 thumbs down, I had no problem selling it. I had a viewer who really wanted it, who nicknamed it the Dackman 2 thumbs down car. But yeah, it was a big disappointment. Not just because of the trucks. I understand Lionel came out with the proper trucks and they stepped off the bat as far as, that's concerned. However, the lack of details for the price is what drove me to be really upset. When you're paying $80 to $100 for a car like this, you're expecting the air tank and the air piping details on the end of the car, which wasn't there. And so that should have made it, like a $50 car. And basically, this is just a Weaver mold, as I found out, and just basic lion scale details, which there's a lack of. But yet, it was sold as a high-end Lionel car. So, if there were trains that I would like to see Lionel make or produce, what would those be? Well, my top 3 would be, I would love to see the Lionel Conrail OCS set produced again, only this time in blue. I would like to see them make a brand new caboose, a full-scale transfer caboose. And, there was a couple railroads that used transfer cabooses, including Conrail. So I think Lionel should look into creating a transfer caboose. That would be cool. Those could also be used as a shelving platform as well. The third thing I think Lionel should look into producing, I think it would be a big hit. I think they should look into creating a locomotive slug. And for those who don't know what a slug is, no, it's not that pest out in your garden eating up your lettuce. A locomotive slug is a locomotive that does not have a prime mover engine. Now, some of them have a cab and some of them don't. But basically, it is used for extra tractive effort. So you would have a mother locomotive and you would have a slug. And there's quite a few railroads out there that do use and have used slugs. So I think it would be a viable project for sure. But at any rate, we'll catch you guys at the next train show, next event. We'll catch you trackside. And again, Happy New Year to 2026. Goodbye.